happy Wednesday. Happy scoping out. I'm so glad that you're here today. We are talking about progression and the simple mindset that keeps you from completely burning out. Now, if you've been following me and what I've been doing for a while, you know that I have just recently launched a very cool thing. It's a daily thought prompt that helps you in small digestible steps, little baby layers, find your passion, find your purpose in life, and live from a place of sustainable purpose, right? Because so many of us are floundering going, this just cannot be all there is. This can't be made to just go to work and pay bills. There's got to be more to life than this, right? The problem is when we get into this big, grandiose idea of what is my passion, what do I love, I don't even know what I do for fun anymore, then the whole thing becomes too big to handle. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So this is that one bite at a time thing. Well, it was also my elephant, right? It's a daily prompt for an entire year, and I've been putting this together for months, trying to make sure all the different months linked up, trying to make sure they were appropriate and sort of built on one another, but also that you could join at any time. And this has been a day-by-day thing for me to just do as much as I could in any given day. And it's not the only project I'm working on. It's not the only thing I do. I actually do have a coaching practice, and I do have courses, and I do teach workshops, right? So it's not like this even happens in a vacuum. Well, launched yesterday, super excited, getting good feedback, awesome. I want people to participate in the comments. Thank you so much. Colleen says it's awesome and free. You're sharing your abundance. It is. Yeah, so why wouldn't you do this, right? Join. And you can do that by going to triffanyhammond.com/passion-on-purpose. Thank you for that. Yes, you can do that. So what happened is, because I want this to be something that's somewhat collaborative and people can comment and add their own insights or ask their questions when they get stuck, the website has a place with each daily thought prompt and then a spot for comments. Cool, right? Doesn't work the way it was supposed to work. Does it? Does anything ever work on the first iteration? And that is the point. Okay, so we have talked ad nauseum in other scopes about progress, not perfection, take baby steps, how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time, be kind to yourself on the journey. Well, what happens when you've eaten that elephant and you've done that launch? The damn thing doesn't work. At least not the way you planned, intended, right? At least not the way you'd hoped. What do you do then? Well, obviously, I have a couple choices. I could just freak the heck out, shut the whole thing down, put it on pause until the whole thing's fixed, right? I could do that. Except I want to come back to the purpose of the exercise. Was the purpose of the exercise to have a perfected product out at lunch? Well, yeah, that would be ideal. But the purpose of the exercise, the purpose of this launch, the purpose of this product for you guys that is absolutely free is to give you the questions and the thought prompts you need. So if I were to go back and I were to completely shut this down, I'd be taking away the very thing I created it for. So that just doesn't make sense to me. That's not an option that's even on the table. And amazing. Well, thank you. It's all of those things, and it's amazing too. So even in its broken state, it's amazing. And it really is getting good feedback. I've only had it out there for one day and people are going, oh my gosh, I never thought of relief this way. November's theme is about gratitude and understanding the difference between relief and gratitude and then getting into your body. And it builds over the course of the month. There's clarifying, there's gathering your resources, and then there's actually taking action at the end of the month. So this is all something that sort of builds and grows. Why would I take that away when the thing that I promised to deliver is being delivered? I wouldn't. If I did that, do you understand how we're talking about the progression of things? So progress on the thing, launch the thing, found a glitch. Now we're talking about taking successive progression on that, right? Okay, so it doesn't work right. I'll fix it, of course. I'm working with my themes and looking for a way to solve this, and maybe it's something entirely different. And in the meantime, people still get these prompts. And in the meantime, they can still email me. And in the meantime, I can still email people out and let people know how that things are progressing with this. And I get to model what this actually looks like to live by the mantra, progress, not perfection. If I were to go take everything down, I'd completely unravel everything that I talk about anyway. And I'd be totally burnt out, wouldn't I? This was hard enough getting this out. I did it in all little baby steps. I did it in the way that was digestible for me. I did it in the way that felt good and authentic to me. If I were to tear this down and try to get it back up in a day, it'd be only me trying to fix this on this end. And I would completely burn out and lose the joy, lose the playfulness, lose the curiosity in the process of putting this out there for others to enjoy. So how does this apply to you? You haven't done some big launch. How does this apply to your life? Well, what you can do is you can start to look at all of the things that you have in your life that you thought were going to go a certain way, or you have certain expectations of being perfect. That maybe it's a new job and you thought, oh, this is going to solve all my problems. You get in there and there's a gossip, just like there was a gossip at your last job. And there's, a cantankerous boss over there, just like there was at your last job, right? And you start to realize that wherever you go, it all becomes a rabbit hole. Exactly. Wherever you go, you get lost in the minutia of the thing instead of keeping in mind this bigger, larger purpose of what you're doing. So what you get to do now is go, where am I married to an outcome? Emotionally attached to one specific outcome, just one. It has to turn out just like this or it's not perfect or it's not right and I can't be happy. And that sounds absurd when you put it like that, but guys, we do this all the time. If I had been married to the idea that this had to be perfect, that was going to be absolutely glitchless when I launched it. Honey, you are not the only one who's guilty. We are all guilty of that. This is why this is a practice. But if I had been married to that outcome, I would have completely fallen apart when I realized that that's what happened, right? I'm human. Glitches happen. Anybody who's been a part of anything. And those people who can't understand that, guess what? That's their opportunity to practice grace. Whether they take it or not, it's on them, but that's their opportunity to practice grace with me and my process and what I'm building. That's their opportunity to look at my intention to put out a really great product into the world for free, by the way, and live up to my passion and my purpose and live by my word. So where in your life are you looking at, this has to happen one certain way. My kids have to respect me. My kids have to do this. My boss has to do that. My spouse has to do that. Or else, where do you have those in your life? We all have them. It's completely okay. The job we have, the task we have now is to identify those and see where we can look at this as a progress, not perfection. See where we can look at this as something where we take the progression of all of our collective growth with grace and ease, come into and allow for whatever that next step is. Okay, so it wasn't as you visualized. Your new marriage isn't as you visualized. That's okay. How do we meet it where it is? Rather than keep fantasizing that it be something else, how do we meet it where it is? Appreciate what works for us and build from there. You see how this, even though I'm talking about my launch, this applies to anything we're doing in our life. Everything we have that we feel disappointed in, confused by, frustrated about, everything we have that triggers that in us has a place where we can meet it. Mine it for all it's worth. What's working, what's good, does it meet my purpose? The idea that I put out there, whether that's, I just said a relationship, maybe it's a new marriage. Does it meet my ideas that I have a companion, a partner, a this, a that? Okay, in these ways it does, in these ways it doesn't. But in the ways it does, let's keep coming back to what works and build from there rather than go, you know what, this doesn't work, let's scrap the whole damn thing. Right? So be willing to allow a natural, organic progression in everything that you're working on. There's no end point. Until we die, there's no end point in any of it anyway. So give yourself the grace, give yourself the appreciation for the effort that you've put in so far. Give yourself the beat you need to really see what's working and what is good about the thing. Build from that point. Yes, fix the problems, work on that, but remember that this underlying piece of what you've built is actually good. This underlying piece of what you have is what you've asked for. Even if ultimately ends up being scrapped and you change it, you've asked for the experience to bring you to the real thing. You've asked for the experience to get you to that thing you want. And a lot of times that's me figuring out what you don't want. And that's okay, because it's about the progression. It's about that next step. It's about taking the very next piece that you need to take in order to eat that elephant. And that's it. That makes sense? Got it? Got some things in mind? You feel stuck? Do you have some areas in your mind like, I feel frustrated by this, but I don't see how it applies to this progression thing? That's okay. Contact me on the blog. TriffanyHammond.com/blog. Contact me on YouTube in the comments and let's work it out. Let's figure out how you have something that you've launched, how you have something that is solid and working, and how you can build from that place and still fix this problem without having the problem define the thing. Okay? Stay in touch with me. Your homework is to go out and figure out where those things are. Anytime you're frustrated, anytime you're feeling like things didn't work out the way they were supposed to, go back and take a look at how they have actually worked out in a way that is progressive to your growth, in a way that is progressive to your goals. Yay! Oh, my nails. Thank you. This is called Refresh Mint. You guys go out, create a great week, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, my lovelies. I like your hair. I don't even see it yet, and I think it's awesome.